Hello and welcome back to Fair Life with Andrew McKee. I am Andrew McKee. And yeah, we made it. Hello. Oh, and hey, Harvey and Kurt and Jan and Lisa. So yeah, welcome back. Oh, let me check now. I'm going to, because I think I fixed all of the issues that I had last week. So I'm going to check the chat. Oh, come on. It's not coming up. Huh. That's weird. I did it so that the chat overlay was working, and now it's not coming up on again. Okay, well, I thought I had. Apparently I didn't. And hey, Lisa and Drew and Harvey. Yeah, it's okay. Everything's looking good. Hi, Kathy. Yeah, it's okay. So the chat is still having a problem. I'm gonna have to keep working on that. I tested it out and it was working before. Never easy, right? So okay, we'll put a little light on that. I did get the laser pointer working, so we should be good with that. I know all of you, that was the main one, right? That was the one you were really concerned about, so I think we got that. But yeah, the chat update where, I can see your chats, but I can't put them up on the screen right now. Never easy. Also, there was some light flicker from behind me that I noticed in the video that was kind of because of because of the frequency of the light versus the shutter speed of the camera. It was showing a little flickering in the background on the video from last week. So I think I fixed that. Right now it looks okay, so I think we're good. I just had to do a few changes on the camera. And Kurt says, yes, cats everywhere are rejoicing. So yes, it's the little things sometimes. Also, I think I got the transitions okay. I might have missed one or two small little aspects to a few transitions, but generally they're back to how they were before with the new setup. So, and also I'm using a new laser pointer plugin. The old one was script based, which worked, but it was a little weird to enable and disable. This one is so easy. Yeah, it is a really nice one. So I'm looking forward to looking forward to that. Lisa says that plug supposed to stay in the socket. Funny. But yes, it's all pretty good. So I think we're pretty good. So the only thing I think we're missing right now is maybe the chat coming up on the screen. So that's what I'll work on for next week. But not quite sure what the problem is because I did test it and it was working. So something quirky is going on. For all I know, something got shifted in the last week. Sometimes like Facebook will do stuff like that. Oh, actually, that's true. I haven't tried YouTube. No, that's not coming up either. Okay, well, something's quirky, so I'll have to mess with it. I also checked, and the video quality from last week looked great. That was nice. I don't know if y'all had any opinions on that, but the YouTube video was stellar, especially considering it was only 1.5 megabit bitrate. I was very proud of that. I really worked hard to try to make that happen with a lot of tweaks. So I think I can even, in a pinch, if it becomes necessary on the road in the future, I could even go less, and it would hurt the quality a little, but not a huge amount. I think I could go down to 1.25 or maybe even 1 megabit, and it would be okay. So we'll see. It's nice to know I have options, but it was perfect quality on YouTube, I think. Facebook was good. I would say good to very good. I was pretty happy with the look of that video. I backed it off a bit, but it's not set up as we're trying to save bitrate for the road settings. It's the general good settings, and I'm happy with it. So I think we're good. Wow, first try, according to Chris. Yeah, that was. Glad you made it. Glad I made it. Yeah, it's been like that the last several months, so I'm it's just kind of refreshing to just get everything set up. And I think I fixed the lighting. I think the lighting looks a lot better this week than last. That was more of a general test. I tried a few things, and knowing it wouldn't be perfect, but it would let me know what needed to happen. And yeah, from that, I think this is about right. I think we're looking good. So yeah. So what have I been up to? Well, I told you a little bit last week that I've been helping out my parents and working on a working on a house a little bit and doing a lot of repair work and painting and being all domestic. Yes, that's crazy but true. I can do it. And just working on the place. It's really wild. It's been surreal considering how much I've been on the road, and then I kind of have been staying in one place for a while. But that's about to change because this coming up weekend, I'm going back to the Louisiana Ren Fair, and I'll be there for 6 straight weekends. So that's going to be exciting. I know, right? It's back in the midst of Faire again. So that should be a lot of fun. And then after that, the weekend after that, I'll be back at the Sherwood Yule Christmas Festival. I don't know. They whatever they call it now. It's it's their holiday 1 weekend event, Celtic Christmas thing. Oh, Kurt, we are now the Blue Man Group. Yeah, I did do a lot of blue in the background. Maybe I'll change that. And they're saying Yuletide gathering. Yeah, it was something like that. I think it Sherwood. They've changed the name a couple of times over the last several years, so I'm like, I don't remember. But yeah, I'll be doing that the weekend after. So I'm pretty much busy the next 7 weekends. Going to be crazy. So honestly, that's going to feel better because it's been weird not performing and doing music for a few months. It's very strange. It's an odd feeling. It's not quite withdrawal, but it's akin to it. I'll put it that way. Yeah, 6 weeks time off for good behavior from Lisa. Yeah, that's something like that. I think I'll enjoy it. Louisiana has always been one of my favorite fairs of all time that I've ever been to. And I mean, if I had to say top 5 fairs I've ever been to, that Louisiana would be on the list. I'm not saying it would be number 1. It's hard to pick a number 1. I mean, for me, I'd say it's one of the top 5 best. Yeah, that's how I'd phrase it. Because there have been years I think it's been the best, and there have been years where I've been like, well, it's one of the best. It varies. Sometimes it's just how the weather was that year or how I was, but it's always on the short list, and I really like that fair. So I definitely recommend it if you have not been and you get a chance. It's just the site has a really good personality to it. It has a good feel. It's interesting and a lot to do. They have a lot of entertainment, especially for the size fair it is. And yeah, I mean, it's you will not get bored. If you've been to enough fairs, you know what I'm talking about. When a fair gets to a certain size where you cannot see everything in one day, and it's hit that. So at that point, it's definitely not a small fair anymore. When you can't see everything in one day, that to me is you've hit the medium-sized fair point, and they've done that. Yeah, and Drew is right. Best kind of depends on how you define best, and it's certainly everybody's going to have a bias. And like I said, best for me and to me. Everybody likes different things about fair. I mean, some people go for the shops, some people go for the entertainment, some people go for the costumes or garb. Some people just go because they want to go to a pub and listen to pirate music and drink all day. I mean, it's just everybody has their own, and usually it's a combination of everything. But yeah. Oh, and yeah, Drew is right. Can't see all the well, TRF is not even a medium size. That's I even have trouble calling it a large. It's kind of a mega fair. There are a few mega fairs, and that's one of them. It's huge. Uh, you honestly, you can't see everything in one weekend at TRF. You won't. You cannot see everything in 2 days. It's just not possible. 2 weekends, maybe, if you scheduled it right. I think if you scheduled it right and thought ahead and really planned it out, you could possibly see everything in 2 weekends. Maybe. But it would take a lot of preparation, right? Drew, back me up on this. I mean, but you've actually been there more recently than I have. So, I mean, geez, you perform out there. So you probably have a more knowledgeable opinion on this. Yeah, the busing people in this year at Faire, according to Harvey. Yeah, some of the fairs are doing that, and Louisiana has been started to do that too because they've grown so much. They've kind of hit that problem with parking and just traffic trying to get in. There was one time a couple of years ago, I was blocked in with my car. Somebody parked illegally. I had to have them towed, and I actually made it to Faire late. And because of that, it actually took me about 45 minutes just to get into the Faire site because of all the traffic and everything. It was a nightmare. And so, yeah, you really want to go early. You want to go early. That's very true. Okay, Drew says, I think you could see 2 acts on 4 stages in one weekend. That's kind of it. Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, maybe 2 weekends is optimistic. So at the very least, you have to go multiple weekends. Yeah. And Kurt says, yeah, Louisiana is certainly one of the prettiest. I mean, again, that is a very subjective concept. But I wouldn't even say prettiest because that is one of the most biased words you can throw out there. I would say the way I would probably put it, Kurt, is I think it just has a lot of personality that I like. That's how I'd phrase it. Yeah, and Chris is saying when you pave the pass, it's a carnival, not a fair. Well, I mean, okay, I see your point. I see your point. I think usually what happens is Faire is it's part of the name, and they don't want to change the name. It started out as a fair. It's just built up. But I see your point. Yeah, they do. Jan mentions the lake at Louisiana, and Harvey mentions the Southern hospitality. Yeah, that is very true. They definitely have a lot of that. So it's a good atmosphere, good people, good site. It's one of those where it's a decent sized fair because it's kind of the classic donut shaped fair where you walk in and then you go around in a circle. That's a lot of fairs are like that. To some extent, but some are very like that. Like Arizona is like that. It's just a circle, pretty much, with an offshoot to go to the joust for the most part. Other fairs are like that too. Louisiana's like that, but because of the lake in the middle, it has this feeling of being bigger than it actually is. And you get that extra scenic beauty. I guess like what Kurt was saying about the beautiful aspect. I mean, it has that scenic beauty that I call it personality, but it's nice. Yeah, Jan mentioned the whole they still don't have the flushy toilets there. Like the Texas Renaissance Festival, that is definitely one of the things they have in their favor. Sherwood as well. They have that, and that really can. It does certainly add that extra level of comfort for sure. And I'm guessing you're right, Jan, that it is just way too costly to make it happen. I don't know. I mean, I know it's been on their wish list for a while, so we'll see if it ever does happen. Maybe they can figure out a way to do it, but my understanding is it was just so expensive to do it right, I guess is the way to phrase it. Yeah. Andrew says TRF restrooms are bigger than many whole fairs. He's not wrong. Those are, I mean, yeah. I mean, going to a TRF restroom feels like going to a Buc-ee's. I mean, let's just be honest. It's wild. Yeah, it is. TRF has, in a way, they have an unfair advantage because they were on that first era of Ren fairs. They were founded in 75. And they had the founding era, which is like the 1960s. And then they had that kind of first huge push at fairs in the 70s. And it's just, they've had a lot of time to build, but they also did a lot of things right. And I think that was one of them. TRF is and by TRF, I mean the Texas Renaissance Festival, for those of you who don't know. It's become one of those example fairs for other owners. I mean, I remember when the owners for the Sherwood Forest Fair were still 2 years out from opening, they went and toured Texas Renaissance Festival and others too, Louisiana and Scarborough and everything. But they gave a serious tour of the whole place to see what was done and ask a lot of questions of the entertainment director to find out what any tips or good ways to do things. So yeah, it's become that. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a fair to model after, it's on the short list of ones to check out, the Texas Renaissance Festival for sure. Oh, wow. Jan says the first visit at TRF was the first year for the restrooms. Wow, I did not. Wow. That was probably after mine because I'm trying to think. My first year at TRF, I was a kid. This would have been 1990 or so, I think. Around then. Yeah. That was, I think 1990 was my first year there as a patron. Yeah, Chris is asking about a post that my old bandmate Mark put up for a song we did together called the Monster Mash. It's, yeah. Yeah, that it's on the Brobdingnagian and Bards Facebook group or page, but it's us doing the song, and then it changes our faces into monsters at the chorus. It's very goofy. I didn't know that was coming until he messaged me and said, "Hey, you got to check this out." So yeah, Chris, it was not what I expected either. Okay, Jan, it was the early 80s. Okay, yeah, that was definitely before my time too. But if it was the early 80s, that was, less than 10 years old. So having flushy toilets in under 10 years is still pretty impressive. And that's kind of what Sherwood tried to do too, where they tried to do the flushy toilets early on and make that a thing. So I'm pretty sure that Texas Renaissance Festival was a huge inspiration on that. So that makes sense. Oh, 2013 for you, Harvey? That's interesting. Okay, now everybody has to pretty much say what year their first Ren Fair is in the comments. Come on, because now we've kind of opened up that door. You kind of have to go there. So let's go ahead and just do that since we've done that. So everybody share. Let's see. While you're doing that, the other thing I've been working on is I got a mixing mastering job from a group, some musicians out at the Louisiana Fair, the Whiskey Bay Rovers. They recorded a new CD, and their last CD several years ago, I mixed and mastered for them, and they were very happy with how it turned out. And they hired me to do it again. It was really, the timing could have been a little better, but I wanted to help them out. And it's the thing with them though. They're mostly an a cappella group with a little bit of instrumentation, some drums and guitar, occasional fiddle, but it's, I mean, I almost have to kind of rework it. section by section and do some creative things. I kind of have to be a producer as well as do mixing and mastering, so it's a lot more work. But they should have that CD out for at some point during the Louisiana Fair, and I'll let you know when that's all done. I'm pretty much done with it. I have a few little tweaks to complete. Probably get that done tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. So there's been a little bit of that. Definitely, it can be a little tedious, but it's it is something I guess I've worked a lot at. So let's see, drew in 91 on cast and started as a patron in 87. Wow, nice. Cat in the mid 80s. Jan, okay. Okay, Colorado in 1990. That's pretty good. Wow, 1977 for Nancy. Very nice. Okay. Bristol in 72 for Kurt. Wow. That's early days. That's sort of that 70s, that what I call like that first era of Ren Fair. Is the founding era I consider like the 60s, and then you had that first era of those real dominant fairs that kind of cropped up in the 70s. You know, actually, I should take some time and start naming the different eras of Ren Fair, you know, because at this point we've kind of gone long enough. We've had them. You know, you've had those, you know, that sort of second era in the 80s where you had several Ren Fairs crop up, like Scarby. And then you had, you know, the mid 90s, early to mid 90s, where you had that kind of third era. And then you had the pre Y2K push in 98, 99, where a bunch of little fairs all tried to happen by 1999. It was really nuts. I should try to look at naming that. 92, okay. Wow, Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah, I know. See, I didn't do TRF perform. I mean, that TRF was the first fair I ever went to. So I was there in 1990, and I went throughout the 90s, but I started performing there in 99. So I just snuck in right before right before the end. It was a great time to do it because now, oh my gosh, it'd be hard to even get in. I was there that last little transition to when what was it? Jeff Baldwin kind of was just solidifying everything post David Casey as the entertainment director. So I guess that it was a great time to do it. I lucked out. And Kevin 2000. Okay. Yeah. That's a good time. Not too bad, y'all. So yeah, I'm heading back on the road, and we'll be going crazy with Faire for a while again, and doing the Louisiana, then the Sherwood for a weekend for the Yuletide thing, and then January and early February jumping into the Fair of Champions in East Texas. So yeah, it's going to be, my weekends are going to be packed for a while, not going to lie, but I'll still try to get a lot of work done during the week. And yeah, should be a lot of fun. Well, oh my gosh, it's already 7:23. We've been talking Fair. I should jump over and do the Fair list, shouldn't I? Right? Let's, yeah. You know, those transitions, how they slid this time? Yeah, it didn't just fade. Yeah. So I got that fixed. Still haven't got the chat, though. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. I'm going to have to really work on that. But we'll see. The chat is the only thing so far. But now we'll try and see if this works. No pressure. No pressure. Okay. Oh, yeah. Look at it. Oh, yes. So good. Aha. Right? Right? Oh, I love it. Loving it. This is, yeah. You know, this really shouldn't be that important to me. I'm not even a cat fan, but I just, yeah, I spent so much time trying to get the old one to work, so I was really happy to make this a thing. So let's jump in and start with the start with the Delaware Renaissance Fair. Now, this is one of those fairs that kind of resolved a long-running joke in the Ren Fair community, because for the longest time, every state had a Ren Fair, or at least had a Ren Fair, except for Delaware. Delaware had never had a Ren Fair. So it's just sort of a long run. I mean, if they had, I hadn't heard of it. Maybe they did for a year or so, but to my knowledge, they never have. And this one started back in 2022, so just a few years ago. And this is the Delaware Renaissance Fair. It goes on for 3 weekends in Townsend, Delaware, and it is on its second out of 3 weekends, and it's Fantasy Weekend. So yeah, so no longer can you say, well, Delaware doesn't even have a Ren Fair. They do now, and it's a good one, a 3-weekend one, and they've once you've made it to year 3, okay, you have a shot at really staying in the game for a while. So good luck to them. I hope it works out. Jumping down to Carolina, we have the Carolina Renaissance Festival in Huntersville, North Carolina. And they're a little over halfway through. Out of 8 weekends, it's weekend 5. And the theme is Pirates Christmas Weekend, Artisan Appreciation. So, yeah. But, yeah, that one, well, let's see. Let's start thinking about when all of these, this is when that third 90s push happened, and 94 is when it was founded. So yeah, the third era of Ren Fair. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna really have to start writing all these down and make an official era, Ren Fair eras. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Jumping over to Kentucky, we have the Fenrir Viking Festival. Now this is another one, because for a long time Kentucky didn't have they didn't have much, and then they just put together the Kentucky Renaissance Fair, and it's been around for a while. But yeah, I want to say we're at 20 plus years, but that was all Kentucky had, that one fair. So now they're starting with a few other things, and they have this Viking Festival, Fenrir Viking Festival, and also in Eminence, Kentucky, like the Ren Fair. And it's just the one weekend, a 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So states are kind of broadening their horizons a bit. Jumping down to Florida, we have the Lady of the Lakes Renaissance Fair in Tavares, Florida. And it's a 2-weekend event, and this is the first weekend. Then going down, we have the Sarasota Medieval Fair in Mayaca City, Florida. And this is a 5-weekend fair. And since it's so far south down here, it's, you can get away with having those winter winter weekends, and they will. It's a 5-weekend fair, and this is just the first weekend, and the theme is Viking Invasion Weekend. Then jumping all the way over to Iowa. I know, Iowa, way far north for this late in the year, but it's just a 1-weekend fair, the Denmark, Iowa Renaissance Fair. And it's only its second year. So just the 1 weekend in Weber, Iowa. And we'll see how, if that one can make a foothold. It's, definitely, it seems more of a street fair, where they are doing the Ren Fair in the town. So it has paved everything and shops and doing it like that, which when it can get this far north in the winter months, probably safer. So I think that might have been a good call. Jumping down to Arkansas, we have 2. And this is weird. They're both 1-weekend fairs on the same weekend in different sections of Arkansas. You have the Red Wolf Renaissance Fair in Jonesboro, and then the Hot Springs Renaissance Fair in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Both just the 1 weekend. I mean, they're kind of far enough away. Most people, I know, not you, Jan, but most people wouldn't usually drive that far to go to another fair. So this one kind of has the good region here, and that one has the region over here. So it's far enough, just. But if it was much closer, I'd really question their logic on that. Then jumping down to a very good fair, and not just because I'm going to be there, but primarily because I'm going to be. No, it's true. It's a great fair. I like it. But the Louisiana Renaissance Festival in Hammond, Louisiana. That's the first of 6 weekends, and the theme is All Hallows Weekend, appropriately. And yeah, it was founded in 1999. I think my first year there was '01 or '02. I don't know if I remember exactly what year. It was one of those. It was either 2001 or 2002 when I first went there and performed. But yeah, it's a lovely little fair. I like it. And I say lovely little fair. It's not little anymore. I was reminiscing about my first year there. That's why. Then jumping over to the Scarborough Hallows, or Scarborough's Hallow, I guess they call it. And they don't really call it a fair. Scarborough's Hallow. It's essentially, for a while, they've been doing the whole Halloween fest thing at Scarborough, but now they're doing a longer event. It's 6 weekends in the fall. I guess the new owners have really started to expand what they do. And Lisa, yes, I'm very modest. I couldn't resist. Sorry. But yeah, the Scarborough Hallows, I don't know. It's the 4th out of 6 weekends, and I don't know. We'll see how well it goes. It's still, with the new owners, jury's still out as far as if it's a good progression or a bad one. Just like the Texas Renaissance Festival to the south, again, new owners. I really think that that HBO documentary, I used the word documentary not seriously, because that was more of a mockumentary, about the Ren Fair is, yeah, I mean, it's really, I don't think that really did them any favors, but then the owner sold it and passed away. So I think a lot of people are going this year partly out of curiosity to see what's going to be different. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse? What? So I think over the next couple of years, we'll see how it pans out. I imagine we'll find out the crowds were pretty good this year, just partly out of curiosity. So we'll see. But it's always been some of the largest crowds in the country anyway, so I don't think they're going to have a problem regardless. And yes, there is a very wondrous performer out there, Hakeem the Magician, who you definitely should see if you do go to the Texas Renaissance Festival. Definitely one of my favorites out there, so definitely check him out. Then last, but certainly not least, we have the Escondido Renaissance Fair Fall Edition, because they also have a Spring Edition, and in Escondido, California, and it's the 2nd out of 2 weekends, so their last weekend. Oh, okay, Mel's saying went to TRF and it has a good feel to it. The parking is still definitely a problem, though. Well, with that many people, I don't know if it would be possible for the parking to not be a problem. I mean, honestly, you're going to have parking problems. But hopefully they make fixes where they can. But some of it is, it's not right next to the interstate, and when it's that far away and you got these 2-lane roads, you can only do so much. Infrastructure is always going to be a bit of a problem. But yeah, hopefully we'll see what adjustments they make. And I'm definitely holding off any judgment until give them a few years, because new owners, you never know. I mean, it's really one of those things. Oh yeah, one of the things you can do with this great thing is it's not just a laser pointer. It's also, I can draw. Woohoo! Right? So that's always fun. I like that. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Anyway, just always good. Let's jump back to, oh, and it stayed up there. I didn't know it did that. Well, now I know. Let's see. Oh. Okay, that's did not mean to do that. That's funny. That's actually really funny. Huh. I'm not sure how to Can I just, in a transition like that, you got to give them a couple of years to really get a good feel and make some adjustments. Like for instance, doing this, doing the little docking thing, you're not going to know what the problems are until sometimes you just go out and do it. So you just kind of have to roll with it sometimes and make changes where you can. So that's really the trick. If it just for me, I would say, go enjoy Texas Renaissance Festival for a couple of years, and try to work around the problems that are just going to happen. But yeah, I mean, with parking, my advice is, as always, is get there very early. I was always a fan of getting there at least an hour before opening. There's still people there, but I'd get there, not be in a rush, have time to casually walk up to the front gate. There's always a front gate show and things going on. I mean, just get there early, because it's just going to get worse the later the morning goes on. So yeah, get there as early as you can. That's the best advice I can give. And that's true, I think, for most fairs, really. I mean, except for the small ones. Anything that's that's a medium or large size fair, get there early. I think that's good advice, definitely. Okay, well, it's already 7:36. Gosh. Well, I might save 7 reasons for next week then, and just do it like that. But yeah, I'll work on okay, I guess that what I have to work on is getting the chat over in there and see what's going on with that. That should work. Yeah, and I figured out how to take off the drawing from the the new whiteboard app, so that works. And yeah, Dan says it's a sign of a good fair when they learn from each year and improve the next. Very, very true. That's kind of it. I mean, you're supposed to have a post-mortem after the fair. They call it different things at different venues. I've heard it post-mortem, I've heard it dead dog, I've heard it all these different things that at the end of an event, you talk about, these are the good things, these are the bad things, these are the things we need to improve, these are the things we can do to make sure this is taken care of for next year, that these problems don't happen. And yeah, really trying to, I guess that's really just true in life, really. You should always just try to improve yourself and what you do, always. And if you can do that, life gets better. So I totally agree, Dan. I think that's a big part of it. It's a good fair is one that learns from its mistakes and moves on. I totally understand. An event that large, it's very difficult to not make any mistakes. I'd even say impossible. But if you learn from them, fix the ones you can, then it just gets better every year. So here's hoping. But yeah, that's I can't wait to hear some feedback from Drew on how the Texas Renaissance Festival goes this year, and when it's all done, what the overall thinking was, because I'm hoping that it's that the transition is a good one, and it's overall a gain, a big gain, hopefully, and the fair just keeps improving. And I'm sure it'll improve in some ways, but I'm hoping in a lot. But yeah, thanks, Harvey. Should be fine traveling, and yeah, looking forward to the fair. And I'll see you out there. Take care. Have a good one. A good evening. A good day. A good week. And as always, a fair life. Take care. Bye.